It was 1989, the summer of 1989 exactly. Some of you people probably in this audience, you equate that with Taylor Swift, maybe the greatest album of all time of 1989 from Taylor Swift, but not for little Tracy. Little Tracy, this was the summer that she actually changed from being a dorky 7th grader to maybe a quasi-cool 8th grader. So a few years before this summer, my dad and mom had gotten a divorce. We had moved, my brother, myself, and my mom to St. George, Utah from Logan, Utah. Well, this particular summer, my dad asked me and his wife, my stepmom, if I would like to come and work the summer up in Idaho Falls at their hotel at their front desk. I thought, oh my gosh, this sounds like a lot of fun. So I get going, we get up there, I'm in Idaho Falls, and his property is not like every property that's just a hotel with just rooms. It's a property that has a restaurant, a lounge, it's got a salon in it, it's got all sorts of things. But the best part about this property was that it went on the bank. If you're familiar with Idaho Falls, anyone, it's on Lindsay Boulevard, and it actually leans right into the Snake River. So there's a bank that you can walk down, and tons of memories growing up where it's feeding the ducks and the geese, walking down to the falls of Idaho Falls, walking around the temple, learning about Idaho Falls. But anyways, this time was totally different. We also got great opportunities like watching the 4th of July fireworks there out of my dad's apartment at the top, where we could actually see the fireworks from an island in the middle of the Snake River that they did. It was so amazing. But this was a different experience. I was coming to work, and I was coming to work with these people that I'd known growing up. And the first round of business that my stepmom took me to do was she took me to go shopping. And we didn't just go normal shopping. We went shopping to thrift stores and got things like a blazer with shoulder pads. We got button-up silk shirts with like a bow tie at the top. We got something called trousers. What are trousers? Oh my gosh. But I got my whole fit together and was so excited. I was gonna start up and go do my job at the front desk. There was a whole crew of people that worked at this hotel. So there was Judy that worked in housekeeping. There was Jim that was the maintenance man. There was Wendy that was the transsexual that my dad hired in 1989, which was pretty big of my dad, which I think is pretty cool. But anyways, there was her, there was Jeanette and Wanda that were coffee drinkers and smokers. And if you're wondering how I knew that, it's because in that time, they still had smoking and non-smoking sections in rooms. So they were always gabbing in the restaurant, smoking it up and talking and drinking their coffee. But there was also another couple there, Gil and Kathy. I'm just gonna quickly mention because that's a whole nother story, which is kind of funny, which my dad and my stepmom had decided a couple of months before when Gil and Kathy were on a break to have my oldest brother be set up with Kathy and go to a Sheena Easton concert. So Gil didn't really like me. I felt the residual of Gil. But anyways, the best part of this summer was meeting Nikki. Nikki! N-I-Q-U-E was Nikki. Nikki was the coolest woman I had ever met in my life. She was 21. She was a free spirit. She dressed cool. She was funky. She taught me as a young woman how to have customer service, how to flirt with people and get them to listen to what you're saying. She would do fun things. My dad and my stepmom were gone all the time. They had other properties, so I was literally living independently. But Nikki took me under her wing, and she'd take me out by the pool. She taught me what Purple Passion Punch was. She told me a little bit about her boyfriend, Judd, who probably I didn't even know all those things, but it was some good stories. But one of the coolest things that Nikki and I did was my dad let us pose for a brochure for the postcard, because this was in the '89. They didn't have digital marketing. They had print marketing materials. So we got to pose in the hot tub, her in her two-piece and me in my one-piece, thinking I was an adult this summer, just having the best summer of my life. But the best part about Nikki was she taught me to love music. We listened to Slaughter and Warrant and Guns N' Roses and Rat, and I still sometimes, sorry family, I listen to them sometimes and I think of Nikki all the time. The best part though about this summer and going there was getting to know my dad and all the fun things my dad did. We got to go to Driggs, to the balloon festival there. The funnest thing we ever did was went to Sandy Downs, if any of you are familiar with that. It's a horse racing place that he would let me actually go and bet, and I could keep the money. It was so much fun. But it was the best summer of my life, and I really thought I was being independent, but I realized that it was the village that was actually raising me.